My father is King Edward VIII, who was married to my mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. This is my Aunt Georgia O'Keefe, the artist. This is the double that married Wallace Simpson. Became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, a false title, and that's where they're buried. So anyone that's claiming to be the daughter of my father, the illegitimate daughter, I beg pardon, he only had one daughter, one child, and that's me, Edward VIII. I will say this, I was kidnapped and I put all these up on YouTube, Facebook, and it really concerns me that I was alerted to, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, if she's a half-sister to me, the last thing I would want to do is hurt her or anything, but I don't know this person's agenda or goals. When I found out about her and all the videos the video, I saw almost all of it yesterday, and it was shocking because she had so many people that were viewing the video and everything. She's even, when I Google, I believe, gotten some books published. I haven't been kept penniless. And my book, I was almost killed when I tried to do a book. This is before I found out about being Victoria II, who my father is, and my mother. I want to inject this. When I came to Roanoke, October the 20th, I believe it was, of '86, a couple of weeks later, I was allowed to see my mother. I was kidnapped at age 2, and 41, I was 39 years old. And here's Uncle George in 39 planning my kidnapping, illegal George the Sixth and Elizabeth. So my mother, I did get to see her one time, and she died right after that. So she died in '87. My father was still alive, and I did not get to talk with her in depth or anything. As far as I know, and a British lady told me this that preceded me seeing my mom, that my father was still alive. I am so sad and hurt to hear the lies and defamation done to him. And by the way, it's been done to me here in this country too. But it breaks my heart. And if the one thing I leave behind, I want to clear my father's name. And I don't want people, it's almost like the Anastasia syndrome. Suddenly everybody's claiming to be Anastasia. Well, I happened to have been driving the Hustler car. Larry Flint was shot, and I was writing about what was connected to that, and later flown out to Hustler during a campaign to replace Larry McDonald, the doctor, congressman, U.S. congressman I'd written about, and I wrote about mind control. So anyway, I don't want to get into that, and maybe you'll see where I'm coming from here. My personality is that I'm very detailed, and I'll give all these details and background, and the kids, my sons Mark and Scott, used to cut up with me and say, hey, Mom, get to the point before you forget it. But I'm listening to this woman that's claiming to be the only daughter she's got on here of Edward VIII, which is a lie. And I wonder why she chose those words. But if you look at the videos, she's got a suit filed against the monarchy, and she's even got it into court in Britain, something I can't do. She's had books published, I believe. I Googled her. And no disrespect to her, unless I find out I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to know her age, because I don't think my father did that. I darn well know he was married to my mom and a very good man. The imposter, I don't know what all he did. He did everything in the book. Had photos taken of him naked riding a tricycle, and they had him listed as my father. He was an imposter. I do know that my husband was CIA, and he showed me, I know a couple of people that had surgery, and they took on the identity of somebody else. And I'm not going to put that down here, but he took me to see the movie Blindfold, where they actually took a person in, changed his identity, and brought him back out, and he looked like a different person. So it can be done. It can be done with socks now and stuff. You don't need all that surgery done. But the thing before this video goes off, I've only viewed the one video, most of it, and she's got long hair like me. I think she's got to be a lot younger than me, which totally discredits anything she's saying about that. The one thing she's right about, some of the stuff she's talking about goes back to, I was taken when I was kidnapped to Moulton, Alabama, near NASA, what became NASA, in Huntsville, and all the scientists that were brought over here. And my hostage taking paid for those deals to be made, and so much money and stuff that came into this country just to keep me alive. So when you talk about Al Haig, he was on the Watergate tapes, and that's where he was telling them to, and I'm not going to go into that again. What I want to go back to is this woman, and she's given a lot of background, and you would think she's getting lost. And if you know where she's going down this long journey road, she's giving you a background. Where she's getting to, I don't know. I didn't see all of it. What I was noticing, she talks with her hands, just like I do. I'm all over the place, or used to be with my hands. My husband used to laugh and say, I bet if I tied your hands, you couldn't talk. But she's talking about genetically, her genetics, and she seems to be kind, and she's given traits that I certainly have. So it's really strange, some of the things she's saying, and I wonder why she suddenly appeared. I had not heard of her until this person alerted me to her, or didn't say bad things about her, just told me I might want to watch the video. And it was a blast in the face. Here this woman's claiming to be Edward VIII's daughter. If he hasn't been defamed enough, I'm his daughter. A 99-year seal was put on my kidnapping. I do have a birth certificate, and my DA matches his, not a phony's, that an imposter with Wallace Simpson, who's buried at Windsor Castle, or on the land. She's very right about the monarchy, though Elizabeth, the Illuminati, and the part of who kidnapped me. But this woman has a lot of traits and a lot of things that are similar to what I've been saying, and it makes me really wonder about her. Since I've been kept on a chain or a leash, so to speak, and can hardly move or live. So anyway, it's confusing. I would like to know her mother's name. She's got a southern accent or an American accent. I'd like to know where she was born, and supposedly that my father, who is her mother? I mean, I do know that my father was married to my mom, and he's a very decent man, and that's the reason they took him down. And I don't want any more lies told about him. By the way, I have been so disrespected in this country. So I know when I looked at the video of her, and she was given an interview, they had interviewed her, Mr. Weber, I believe it was his name. Yeah. One of the comments underneath was calling her honey. And I thought, you dirty little rat. You have to walk in my shoes. I have had things done to me that the worst criminal wouldn't have had done to them. I'm a good-hearted soul to the point where it hurts me. I look back and I wonder how I ever lived. And I want my father's name cleared. I want my mom to be known who she is. And I want my sons. I hope they're still alive. And at least, if I die, at least they have a record on YouTube to know who their mother is. And I'm talking about not just my name and their name. I'm talking about who I am inside. A beautiful lady